So indeed, although I passing through Goa several times, because nearby Tibetan settlement, so previously through Goa was more convenient. Go there and return through Goa. So now this time, because of Chief Minister and some other concerned people, they arrange a meeting. So first time, talk, share some of my thought, some of my experience with people from this place. So indeed, I'm great honor. By nature, every sentient being, particularly every human being, by nature, want happiness and do not want suffering. Even animals, insects, also have that same desire. And also, everyone has the same right to achieve happy life and overcome problems, suffering. So it is really logical and they are right to pursue happy life. Now, the happiness, when I use the word happiness, is not mainly certain sort of satisfaction on physical, sensorial level, but mainly a deeper mental level. So there's some kind of, not necessarily feeling of pleasure, but some kind of feeling of satisfaction. That I usually refer as a happiness. So it is important to make distinction, certain satisfaction which come through sensorial sort of consciousness or sensorial feeling.
Through sensorial inputs.
Like seeing something nice through eye consciousness, then you get some satisfaction. And listen music, you get some satisfaction. At good taste, you get some satisfaction. These mental level satisfaction entirely depend on external matters. But since external these sort of facilities are not remain continuously, so as soon as that disappear, that end, the mental satisfaction also reduce. Not only memory. Other level, mental level, deep satisfaction. I think through, I think meaningful life, serving other people. Through that way, you get deep satisfaction. Physically, it may be a little difficult, but mentally, you get deep satisfaction. All people who have faith towards God, tremendous faith, that also brings deep inner satisfaction. Then also practice of some meditation, that also brings inner deep satisfaction. These satisfaction not relying or not depend on external facility or external matters. And deep satisfaction out of mental thinking, that more duration, more durable. So now here, I think this is I think it's important to know two levels of satisfaction. Otherwise, we simply some kind of satisfaction out of the sensorial feeling, so that a person who has some sort of external facilities, seeing something nice or hearing some nice things, till that person gets some satisfaction. When these are not there, or eventually when you sick, or when you reach very sort of old age, cannot see, cannot hear properly, then because that person lack of experience certain sort of deep satisfaction through mental level, only depend on external matters, then that person really finds difficult, boring, really boring. I noticed, I think everybody noticed today, in some tourist sort of spots, some old people, some retired people go there. These people, in their own home, sitting, then they really feel boring. A difficult time passes. Get some experience of deeper level of satisfaction, then remain like hermit life. You get tremendous sort of satisfaction, happiness. So because lack of sort of that, because of the understanding about a deeper level of satisfaction, people everywhere rushing material development, material values. Only count money, wealth, power, fame, all superficial sort of sources of happiness, not genuine. I often say, telling people, those sort of rich people, or rich or any people, you see, who wear some sort of rings, even some high cost rings, if you get some, oh, I have nice ring, you get some satisfaction. In deeper level, if you kiss that ring, no matter because of expensive, that ring no capacity to respond to your affection. Instead, that one small cat or dog, if you show your kindness, your genuine sort of sense of sort of affection, they can respond. I feel that's more useful. So we human beings, if you show other genuine sincerity, genuine love and compassion, then you receive sort of equal sort of nice response from them. That's the way to build happy family, happy community. Not just wealth, money. Money, wealth, bring extreme sense of competition. And that brings suspicion. As soon as some kind of destructive competition feeling develops, then you immediately feel something a little bit distance. That creates suspicion, doubt. On that basis, impossible to develop genuine friendship, because friendship entirely depends on trust. So money, I think, of course, if you use properly, then okay, less danger. Otherwise, just think money alone, think material value alone, then there is real danger to diminish basic human values. Our life becomes very much artificial. My friend, some businessman, sometimes I jokingly telling them, you are slave of money, running here and there, always think money. They themselves are not necessarily very happy when we sit together. Often, as a urinat, what's it? Sigh. Right?
Sigh.
Often I notice like that, looks not very happy. Some kind of anxiety, too much sort of what's it? Stress, too much stress. So that firstly I want to share with you. So we need material development because we have this physical body. So therefore, for physical comfort, material facilities are highly necessary. So material development also very important. With help of technology and science, really marvelous, very good. But if we put all our hope on material value and modern science and technology, I'm not very sure we human beings will truly become peaceful and happy people. Look, 20th century. As far as development of technology and science and these things, highly developed. But these marvelous human achievements also becoming additional sort of causes of destruction, suffering, fear. I often tell you, say, at a scientific meeting, science and technology is really great achievement, human being, human intelligence. But unfortunately, sometimes these achievements becoming additional destructive forces. So therefore, the 20th century, according to some historian, 20th century, within 20th century, over 200 millions of people killed through violence. All the violence is part of human history. But the destructive power is much increased. Therefore, the more people, more casualty, like that. So now, we should not neglect about our inner values. Now that I really feel very important. Now, as I mentioned before, I myself, at the age of 16, I lost my freedom. At age 24, I lost my own country. and last now more than 51 years, constant sort of heartbreaking news. Of course, some positive news also there, but largely some sad news come. And on top of that, almost entire Tibetan population, inside as well as outside, as it put a lot of trust and hope on me. So I have some kind of special sort of moral responsibility feeling, but the situation is helpless. But I never touch tranquilizer. Of course, I'm Buddhist, so it's Buddha prohibited drinking alcohol or drugs. So, but my mind, I think comparatively, quite peaceful. The heartbreaking sort of news come. Little disturbances, but remain short period. The deeper emotional level, I can keep my calmness, calm mind. So we have the same ability if you have more awareness and also look everything more holistic way. Then we can utilize human potential properly. Otherwise, this potential just remain dormant. So awareness, like our knowledge, unless you study, these sort of potential of knowledge remain dormant. Through study, first class, second class, third, 10th, 15th, like that, then these potential develop. Potential then got the opportunity to sort of blossom. Right? Similarly, calm mind. Also, everybody, I think calm mind based on open-heartedness, warm-heartedness. Everybody have same. So long we're born from mother, and so long we experience tremendous mother's affection. We have same potential. So that I want to share with you. So then these inner sort of quality or inner sort of human value, in order to develop that, I feel three ways. Number one, theistic religious faith. Believe God, Creator. God, in the sense, infinite love, compassion. And consider God as our own Father. This very life created by God. So it's a tremendous sort of closeness feeling with God. That God's own nature is infinite love. So then naturally, there's more willingness to practice love, compassion. That brings automatically sense of tolerance, patience, and also self-discipline. These automatically come. That's one way to promote this inner value. The second, non-theistic religious tradition, such as Jainism, mainly Jainism and Buddhism. No concept of creator, but ultimately self-creation. So matters, worlds, physicals, very similar Darwinian theory. Just causes conditions and particles. You see there, more combination, more sort of
As the components are gathered together, then we see there is the emergent property coming about from these with different potentials.
So these are just a law of causality, no creator. But then, you see, according Indian sort of common, what's the concept? All Indian religion, that's law of karma. Karma means action. So everything due to its own action. Action is that's the main sort of cause, main sort of sources of events. So karma means action. So if you do action to help others, to bring more satisfaction, more happiness to others, you get a result that you get more happier. So you get more happiness as a consequence. If you carry action to harm others, to bring some pains on others, like killing, stealing, or rape, telling lie, so on, some uncomfortable, some sort of pains brought on others. From that action, you get negative consequences. So that also, you see, the one way of approach. Because of that, since I do not want suffering, I want happiness, so I have to carry positive action to serve others, to help others, never bring harm on others. So that's the way to develop kind attitude or loving kindness attitude towards others. So this different way of approach, but same purpose. This is one thing. Then there must be a third one. I believe there must be a third one. Some my Christian friend and also some Muslim friend have the view any moral ethics must be based on religious faith. I have a different view. Ethics, some level of ethics, even animals also have that kind of practice. I think like dog make distinction. When stranger come, he or she act a little different, so protect their home. So there's some kind of absolute loyalty to the person who feeding, who kinds. So the dog, I think, not ability to knowledge this is my boss, but anyone who really kind them, really showing sincerity, truthful, then they bring loyalty. So that's ethics. And then the basis of ethics is, I believe, compassion, affection. That's a biological factor. The child, as soon as born, the child's side towards mother, of course, no knowledge, who is that person? But emotionally, biologically, entirely depend on that person. So long that person touch, child feel very happy, feel safe. Separate, unsafe, unhappy. The mother side also, there is some kind of the immense enthusiasm to take care of the child. That enthusiasm brought by love. This is also a biological factor. Even animal mother really willing to sacrifice her own life in order to save on their youngster. We notice that. So therefore, these are biological factors, not come through religious faith. So therefore, there must be moral ethics without touching religious faith. So that I usually describe secular ethics. Because of India's reality is so many different faiths here. So if you take the ground of ethics, one religious faith, then what faith? There are complications there. So when India's forefather were, the nation's father like Gandhiji, Rajendra Prasad, and also Dr. Ambedkar, these great lawyers, great scholars, when they drafting India's constitution, they felt, according to India's reality, secularism is fit, suitable to this country. So according Indian concept of secularism does not mean disrespect of religion, but respect all religions. No preference, this religion or that religion. According to my close friend, Dr. Advani, once he told me one factor for the success of democracy in this country is the 1,000-year-old India's tradition, among thinkers, scholars, different views. One thinker's view is there's no existence of after this life, or no existence of heaven, no existence of God, nothing but this life. So that school of thought, in Sanskrit word, charvaka, so nihilism. So he says, he told me, among thinkers, philosophers, very critical about that view, nihilism, or argue or criticize. However, they refer the person who holds that view, refer sage, rishi. Rishi means sage. So that means respect them. So India's secularism also respect non-believer. This 1,000-year-old tradition. So in modern time, the India's constitution the sense is must respect non-believer also. So that's very broad. So my the usual the way of promotion these human values. Of course, those people who have faith, and they have plenty of reasons to practice these things. Then non-believer, I usually use 3 reasons. One, our common experience, as I briefly mentioned, everybody born from our mother. We survived here because of our mother's tremendous affection, tremendous care, tremendous love. I think within this whole few hundred people here, outwardly, everyone is more or less the same, smart. But in deep insight, those individuals who receive maximum affection at the time of very young age, in deep insight, much calm. much happier. That those individuals at that age, lack of mother's care or some abuse, some sort of negative attitude from mother in deep inside, some kind of sense of insecurity usually happen. So such person, even small cause, really cost much. Those individuals who deep inside calm, even some sort of, some irritation comes, they can tolerate more easily. So that's common experience. Then, use common sense. Our neighbors, those home, those family, no matter what, rich, poor, or educated, uneducated, but the home full of affection, that home much happier. Even they may face some sort of anxiety, or next day, or how to lead their life. But even then, feel happy. Then those family may be very rich, very sort of influential, but something lacking in that home, that's human affection, then often quarrel, or sometimes depression. I also have the experience. So notice some people, at once we start talk, joyful, because in their inner world is much calm, much peaceful. Some people, when we start talk, some difficult, because in the deep inside, some anxiety, some sort of anxious or something, anxiety or something. It's very clear. So therefore, using common sense, we can realize the importance of these inner peace or affectionate attitude. Then third, most important, is scientific finding. I think later part of 20th century, the modern science not much pay attention about inner world or mind. Even some radical materialists, they even deny existence of such thing as a mind, only brain. But later part of 20th century, now the scientific sort of research highly developed, particularly the brain science, neuron science, and also medical science also now begin to realize patient's emotion is so important for their physical wealth and for recover or preventive measure. So, since later part of 20th century, among the scientists, some really paying attention about mind, about emotion. So they carry some sort of experiment. Number of cases, because it's the last now almost 30 years, I had almost regularly meeting, talk, discuss with scientists. So they, the number of cases, they carry some kind of experiment. Some group of people, before they start some sort of experiment or program, they check blood pressure, the amount of stress on these things, then some other sort of test also they mentioned. Then few weeks or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, some short sort of training our mind. Often you see, think about compassion, love. After 2-3 weeks, again test. Blood pressure reduce. Amount of stress also reduce. Recently, I was in Emory University. They also carry some sort of experiment, some student. After a few weeks, they notice their students' concentration power on their subject much improve. Usually Americans or the student always look television like that. So their mind easily scattered. So their concentration power improve. The sharpness of their mind also improve. Then their social sort of contact with other sort of fellow student also improve. So as a result, individual student become much happier. So these, and then another thing, according to medical scientists, constant fear, constant anger, or hatred. Actually, some scientists say, they're eating our immune system. Very bad for health. On the other hand, more compassionate mind, very helpful to sustain our immune system. And for recovery, speedy recovery, also you see very much depend on calm mind. So one occasion, one doctor mentioned, two sort of guinea pigs, both some injuries. One guinea pig with another guinea pig, one put alone. So the other one, who have another guinea pig sort of companion, that again is a biological factor. The guinea pig, you see, licking that wounded one. So the recovery, that guinea pig who receive constantly others' affection, much faster recovery. They found. And then also I have one sort of story or one sort of presentation, one scientist, medical scientist, one occasion in, I think, Columbia University or something, in his sort of report or presentation, according to his sort of experiment, those people who often express the word I, my, me, these people have greater chance of heart attack. Although he didn't explain, but then I felt, it is quite logical that those people who often express I, that's reflect his or her real sort of way of thinking. So this extreme self-centered sort of feeling. So that kind of attitude there, even small problem of him or of her appears something very big, unbearable. The people who think more holistic, whole community or whole humanity, then your individual problems may not be that much sort of significant, part of the problem, but okay. That kind of feeling. So that makes differences, emotional level. One small problem, unbearable. One even serious problem. Okay, this is a problem. I have to work, but okay, that kind of attitude. So I think that makes differences. And then also, I often used to telling people, compassionate heart here, it automatically opens our inner door. Through that way, we can reach out others very easily. Too much self-centered attitude there. That inner door closed. Then that person finds it very difficult to reach out to other people. Then we are biologically social animal. Our successful life entirely depends on others. No matter how one single person powerful, but his or her, the successful life, happy life, entirely depend on rest of the community. So the rest of the community is basis of your own successful life, happy life. If you mentally develop some kind of suspicion, some kind of distance from that, how can you get a successful life or inner peace? Once you develop genuine sense of concern of the well-being of others, true sense of brotherhood, sisterhood there, then you get trust. After all, we are social animal. Therefore, cooperation is very essential. Cooperation only comes on the basis of friendship. Friendship comes on the basis of trust. Trust comes from genuine warm-heartedness. Warm-heartedness there, no room of lie, no room of bully, no room of killing, stealing. Killing means, of course, suicide is something exceptional, but otherwise, you see, the killing means other. Stealing others or wealth. Abuse or sexual, rape, lie, everything, you see, on other. Therefore, if the person develops genuine sense of concern of well-being of other, then there is no room killing, right? Or action of killing, stealing, rape, all these lie, all these, no basis. You just look other as your own brothers, sisters, as dear as yourself. So this we can train through reasoning, not through prayer, not through deep meditation, but simply using our common sense. So that I really feel we need more effort. And that kind of education, knowledge, not come through church, not come through temple, but should be into regular school, education field. There are now people in this country also. Recently we had a serious meeting in Delhi about these things with scientists, and some Indian spiritual masters also participated. Some of them, you see, carrying some sort of, education of warm-heartedness. So we are, thinking some sort of more research work, and make some kind of plan how to introduce in school from primary school, from kindergarten up to university, the way of educate warm-heartedness, not talking about religion, but secular basis. That I think we really need. So after all, the very purpose of education is try to reduce gap, appearance, and reality. In order to our sort of way of approach be realistic. So the education purpose is try to know the reality. So that reduce gap, appearance, and reality. So now through that way, we can bring conviction to young people. Warm-heartedness is the best way to get maximum happiness and good health for yourself. That we can educate. So usually I sort of explain or use the word, be selfish. We are human beings by nature. Every sentient being selfish. Then selfish itself is right. Maximum care oneself, right. Those people who some kind of self-hatred, such person, impossible to develop compassion towards others. So self-love is the sound basis, seed, that extend to others. That's compassion. So we are selfish, but should be wise selfish rather than foolish selfish. Too much extreme, short-sighted, narrow-minded, selfish self-destruction. Often it happens. So if you really love ourselves, you should use our intelligence properly. How to bring maximum interest for your own well-being. So that's the way I usually call secular way of educating these inner values. So that's all. Now I will set some questions.
Sir, I have a very simple question. I don't know whether it's logical, right or wrong. I would like to know what is the purpose of life. And second thing, whether you believe in destiny and what's the role of destiny in human life.
Purpose of our life. I think due to different philosophical sort of view, I think different answer. But generally, from Buddhist viewpoint, it's nature. I is there, nature. Mind is there, nature. Desire for happiness, to overcome suffering, by nature. That's the Buddhist viewpoint. I think the secular way, I think that's the answer. Now question is whether there is a real I usually use it describe. Very purpose of our life is for happiness. This I believe. The simple reason our life, the future of future way, there is no guarantee. But we survived because on hope. If we lost our hope, then that very mental attitude shorten our life. In the worst case, even suicide. So since our survival very much based on hope. So hope means for good, not for bad. Therefore, the very purpose of our life, from that viewpoint, I can say happiness, happy life is our purpose of our life. That was the second part. Destination, destiny, something really fixed, and we have no power to change that. That kind of destiny, of course, according different sort of faith, maybe, but from the viewpoint of secular way or viewpoint of law of causality, no destiny. Things shaped because of its own causes and conditions. So causes and conditions change, the shape change. For example, some unhealthy person, body. If you remain that way, some destination, eventually more sort of becoming more weaker. But if you make effort, for example, exercise, or certain sort of taking care about your diet, then you see that can change. So, certain destiny, right, up to today, because your new awareness, new effort will start today, within a week, that destiny can change. So that's our view. And Dalai. Next question.
Sir, will you please tell us how we can free from hatred, aversion and craving? Will you please also focus some light on Zen?
Kodo. Where? Oh, here. Oh, yes. Hatred, Khasa. There are many levels of hatred. I think hatred, in the sense, some kind of ill feeling towards the troublemaker, or we may call enemy, or even your friend, due to something wrong, you may develop some kind of anger, a negative feeling. But you see, anger, one part of our emotion, some negative situation come, some kind of danger for you, then anger comes as a protector. Biologically, it happened like that. It's necessary to some extent. And desire, attachment, also biological factor, acquire to bring the positive thing for your survival. Anger expel thing which harm for your survival. Now, hatred, in the sense, you see, because of some anger, then that brings some kind of inner sort of negative emotion, which then remain for a longer period, some kind of ill feeling towards that. That I think, now for example, my own sort of case, hatred, I think almost none. Anger quite often comes. If some people are doing something wrong, oh, I lost my temper. That's sort of some harsh word. But after that, finished, nothing. Nothing remains here. Even if those people who really, now for example, 2008 crisis inside Tibet. Afternoon, 10th March 2008, I received information. Some part of Lhasa city, some peaceful demonstration starting. So immediately I developed sort of same experience which occurred in 1959, 10th March. Feeling of helplessness, hopelessness, fear, anxiety. But then, 2008 sort of crisis, then I visualized those Chinese officials who on the spot is making this decision. Visualize them, and the practice of take and give. That means take their anger, fear, hatred, take to myself, and give my own patience, compassion, forgiveness, spirit of forgiveness to them, this kind of sort of exchange way. Oh, that practice, immense help. Of course, not solving the problem has no effect, but in order to keep my mental level peace, that practice is immensely useful. So you can simply pray to eliminate anger is unrealistic. So the hatred also is some kind of sort of result of certain your way of thinking, certain your emotion. So the causal level, right? The Buddhist psychology, you see, when we deal with negative emotion, when negative emotion is fully developed, difficult to control. So the proper way is the initial stage, such as hatred, not fully developed, but about to develop. That is the time you deal with that. Usually it is, say, irritation, immediate.
Unpleasant feeling.
That is the source or ground of anger. Then anger develops hatred. So therefore, unpleasant sort of feeling, about unpleasant feeling develop. That time, think more about, you say, what use if you fully develop anger? The anger alone eliminate that problem? No, never. Anger, some negative things happen, unhappy things happen. If you let anger develop, hatred develop, that hatred alone also won't help to solve the problem. Instead, destroy your own health, destroy your own the holistic view. Therefore, thinking these lines, then the unpleasant feeling about to develop, then thinking these lines, then unpleasant feeling reduce. That reduces the source of anger, source of hatred. That's the way. And also something like the weak body, even small sort of symptoms of virus may cause very serious illness. But your basic body element healthy, immune system is healthy, strong, and even the more serious sort of virus is to come, won't disturb your health. So similarly, basic mental attitude is healthy. Then these, you see, small sort of problems will not disturb your mind. Even, you see, there's some disturbance about to start, you can deal. Through practice, when you develop anger, you can separate you yourself from this anger. You can then watch about anger. As soon as you yourself separate from the anger emotion, your basic mind then watching the anger emotion, then automatically anger emotion reduces. Usually the anger or attachment develop. Your whole mind, your whole yourself, something unified, that anger or attachment. Then difficult to tackle, like that. So these, I think Buddhist psychology, and also I think Hindu psychology, I think all those Indian traditions which mentioned about practice of samadhi and vipassana. Both practice of vipassana and samadhi is mental quality. So naturally, more explanation about mind, how to sort of tackle about mind is there. So, as you are Indian, isn't it? Huh? Kasa? Oh, very good. So in any way, These are India's tradition. So I often, you see, when I'm passing through different towns or different places, I found many sort of, temples, Hindu temples or Shiva Lingam or Durga or like that, or Vishnu, or Ganesh, and also Lord Shivaji. And then I often feel maybe better, more construction about small library, where the follower of Hinduism or Buddhism or Jainism can study and occasionally discuss, rather than just one statue and go like that. I often is telling Tibetan and also some Chinese, they fond to make Buddha statue. I often telling them, I'm Buddhist. I have deep sort of admiration and respect to Buddha. But Buddha statue never speak. So instead of speak less sort of object, better to print more books. That's more important. So you study more. All this information in this country last almost 3,000 years. This information already there. So now what's lacking? Now about billion Indians, I think ordinary Indians, many of them very faithful, religious minded, but never pay sufficient attention, study. That is sort of a mistake.
To practice medicine, doctors have to take the Hippocratic oath. Is there a particular public oath that you would suggest politicians actually adopt universally?
Karsa. Doctor. Ka. I'm not a politician. But, in front of Indian Parliament in Delhi, now I think many years ago, you see, they constructed one Gandhiji's huge statue in front of Parliament. So the opening ceremony or something, I also there. So I just express the parliamentarians, those politicians, when passing through Gandhi's statue, they must remember about Gandhi's truthfulness. So that also, now you see, I think during freedom struggle, those Indian leaders, like Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Patel, all these freedom fighters, really selfless, and fearless. They really carry their work honestly, truthfully. So I often telling my Indian friends, although India now since got independence, now more than 60 years passed, but still the Indian leaders need the spirit of during freedom fighters or what's the spirit that still needs honest, transparent, truthful, selfless. That's, I think, very important. Like that. And then media. India is a democratic country. Comparatively, I think this country is really much more stable because of democracy and also the independent judiciary. One time in Delhi, one sort of meeting, many judges were, or lawyers there. I praise this country, independent judiciary, and then also I little teasing them, the people who involve justice, if they themselves are a little corrupt, then you see that's really disaster. So you see some certain things you see happen. I think the huge country, some sort of unhealthy things it happen, understandable. But overall, this country is very, very stable, much better than all those neighboring states. So still, you see, we need more effort. And also, I often is telling Indians or media people, not only in India, but also you see everywhere. Whenever I met some media people, I'm always telling them, you media people in modern society, in particular a democratic country, media people have very, very important role. Firstly, as I mentioned earlier, these basic human values, the secular ethics, and religious harmony, in these matter, media people have important role to teach public, not only just as news, but these basic sort of human values are very, very important. Then second, the media people have special role to check. So media people should have long nose, as long as elephant nose. Now, then smell everywhere. In the front, like me here, very nice. But very important to smell what is behind, what is going on behind. That's very important. So, the religious people like myself and a politician like Chief Minister or some member of parliament or in some businessman, some sort of public sort of social workers, and media themselves also, you see, should check you're really carrying your work sincerely or not. Very important. So then, make clear to the public what is really going on. That's very important. Because it's now China, because lack of freedom of media, so a lot of corruption there. So one, lack of independent judiciary, and second, no free information. So therefore, these people who have power, then they are quite free hand. So in the free countries, wherever I met, you see, the media people, you should investigate what's going on thoroughly, and then inform the public honestly, truthfully, unbiasedly. That's very important.
Good afternoon.
Oh, yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Here.
Kodo.
I'm here. I'll come in front if you want to see me. I have a question. You can cast it away if it's silly. You have all the right. You spoke about money. And you said money is not everything. Money can't give you happiness.
Yes.
Absolutely. Agreed. But I also believe that with money, you can buy things. Money can't directly make you happy, but money can buy certain things which can make your life comfortable. So in that context, anything in the Buddhist psychology where you can teach us how to draw a balance between acquiring wealth and acquiring mental peace.
If you use common sense properly, we have this physical, this body. We need food, shelter, and certain sort of things, clothes, which brings comfortable for this health, for this body, and also some sort of material facility to build healthy body. Now, I think people hear this sort of whole. I think everybody, compare when I passing through village to village, some very poor. I think they never sort of experience this kind of comfortable sort of sitting. So they not only global level as well as national level, this gap rich and poor. Really very sad thing. Very, very sad. We have to pay serious attention about how to reduce this gap, rich and poor, global level and also national level. India's economy, I think, grow quite well, and meantime, open society, unlike China. So I think India's economic growth is more healthy way. So meantime, I always expressing real transformation of India must come from rural area. Just a few big cities development is nice, but not the real answer for this problem. So those people who have some means where to look at these problems, you should pay more attention about the development in the rural area. So material development, money, very important. Without money, through prayer, nothing can be done. I think last year, where? Last year, 1 year ago, in Patna, Bihar Chief Minister, Present Chief Minister, a very able person. Now he built one Buddhist vihara at Patna. So he invited me to participate in the celebration. So I went there. Then he mentioned in his speech, beside other thing, he mentioned with Buddha's blessing, Bihar state rapidly developed. He mentioned. Then my turn. I know Chief Minister quite well. So then I responded to him, if Bihar state rapid development due to Buddha's blessing, then Bihar state much earlier should develop. Last 2,500 years, Buddha's blessing already there. But the Buddha's blessing entirely depends on able Chief Minister's hand. So again, this shows Buddha's blessing not sufficient. We must act. Action more important than prayer. So the actual sort of transformation of India, not just puja, but work hard. And those richer family provide those poorer section of the people education, technology skill. And a few days ago, I was in Mongot. See, I think more than two decades ago, I think more than 20, 30 years ago, one local people, you see, they are thinking to set up one technology sort of what's the training. So then I donated 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 1 crore. I promised some donation, and the state government also provided some fund. So now this time they completed. So they invited me to participate in their sort of celebration, open celebration. So there are such things in rural area, some sort of the training of what's the skillful skills. I think that's very, very important. So this is material part. Now I want to ask you the question of do you have experience of mental level, not physical level, but mental level, sometimes happy mood, sometimes bad mood? Do you experience that? Oh. So when you have some kind of bad mood, and if you carry some sort of what's it, bunch of 1,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees of notes, then shouting those big shops, big market, I want to buy peaceful mind. Or go to some big hospital. I want to get injection for peace mind. Or some very sophisticated sort of factory. Please, Kasota, bring me, Kasota, inner peace through some kind of technology, machines or computers like that. Perhaps I think they may do hold your brain broad and then some robot machine put. Then you will be always indifferent. Move, but no feeling. Do you prefer that? So I'm telling that. So therefore, now it is quite obvious. Physical comfort through money we can make. Peace of mind you cannot make by money. Peace of mind also equally important, even for health, very important. So since money cannot bring peace of mind, there must be some other sort of technique, some other ways. So obviously, anyone who have this mind or this physical, so obviously we need both. So use material facility, but not worship material value. Realize there is limitation. Money value or material value. Knowing that limitation, then some of your mind or some of your energy spent on other field to bring inner peace. So that's the more balanced way. Now, okay. So your question is not a silly question. Very good question. Thank you. Next.
Sir, Your Holiness, thank you very much for your presence in Goa and India. My question actually is about that. It seems over the course of the last few months, there are some worrying kind of signs, trends in the media recently over the issue of the Lama who had some funds. There seems to be kind of a sense that your presence and the presence of the large Tibetan community in India is starting to perhaps be a kind of inconvenience in India's vision of global kind of rise. Do you have some fears about or concerns about the future of your community in India and about the stability of your relationship, which has existed for so many decades? Thank you.
Because of any relation. Our relation, relation between Tibetan and Indian, not just matter of sort of few decades, but few thousand years. I always describe our relation is relation between Guru and Chela. In this case, you, Indian, are Guru. We are Chela. For example, since 7th century, 8th century, Buddha Dharma brought to Tibet, flourished Tibet. Then whole Tibetan way of life changed. Now, Tibetan cultural heritage or Tibetan civilization and Indian civilization, like Morarji Desai, when he became Prime Minister, as my usual sort of practice, I wrote letter to congratulation to him. In his reply, he used the word two civilization, Tibetan civilization, Indian civilization, like two branches of one Bodhi tree. Actually, Bodhi tree grow here. Then one branch eventually reach Tibet. So the 1,000 years, our relation is something very strong. So as a result, today, 6 million Tibetan inside Tibet, physically controlled by Chinese communists. But 99% of their mind looking this country. That's fact. My own relation with India, 1956, Buddha Jayanti celebration, Government of India invited me with great difficulties due to the Chinese government, but finally I reached here. We developed some special sort of relations, particularly with Pandit Nehru, and then first Indian President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Then 1959, when we become refugee, political asylum. When the government of India received information, I left from Lhasa, going towards India. In cabinet meeting in New Delhi, some different views. Finally, Pandit Nehru decided, Dalai Lama we must take political asylum, Dalai Lama and his followers. So then, with help of Indian government, Tibetan school, separate Tibetan school started. And then also the Tibetan resettlement in different provinces, particularly in Karnataka state. These was a settlement established. Now after 51 years, Tibetan religious community quite well settled. So that's the basic sort of relations with this country. 1,000-year-old sort of relations Then recent, about the 51 years sort of relations like that. And then geographically, Indian border with Tibet, not China proper. Before 1950, no single Indian Juan in these 1,000 miles of border. After 59, after 50, then these military posts started, particularly after 62. Even today, the number of soldiers from Ladakh up to Arunachal increasing. So, Tibet issue is also issue of India. So, that's the basic sort of the picture. Then incident, like the karma sort of the money, it's the issue. Actually, I think the carelessness of some of his sort of the work, because the attendance, they proper sort of registered some kind of the charity like that. So that's, I think, their mistake. So due to that, this is something happened. But these are nothing sort of serious. That's my view.
Your Holiness,
No?
is it silly to think that in name of religion, more wars are fought and there is more communal violence? My question is religion a friend of peace or it is a friend of wars? Would there be more peace if religions were abolished? Would there be more peace if religions were abolished? Because we find that there are more wars and more communal violence in name of different religions.
Yes, war with the name of religion, that also part of human history. So some people have the opinion whether maybe better no religion. But then Sino-Soviet sort of also the skirmish, some kind of sort of border clash, Sino-Soviet, and also Sino-Vietnamese sort of conflict. Any involvement of religion? No, I don't think. And First World War, Second World War, Korean War, not due to religion. Even without religion, some kind of conflict was always there. So now, in the past, not only in the past, but even today, some conflict in the name of religion. Now we must investigate. In the past, many cases, and even present, I think many cases use name of religion, but real sort of cause is either power or economic interest, not religious faith itself. But people manipulate religious name. So innocent people, when touch religious name, then they become very much emotion. So easily can manipulate. So that happened. And then secondly, the religious people themselves, too much attachment towards one's own religious faith. One time in Argentina, one meeting with some scientist, some religious leader, one Chilean physicist, I know him, great sort of scientist. He mentioned at the meeting, he, a scientist, physicist, but he should not develop attachment towards his own scientific field. That's the point. I'm Buddhist. I should not develop attachment towards Buddhism. Because when I develop attachment, my mind biased. With biased mind, I cannot see the reality. So, any religious follower, too much attachment, their religion, then their mental thinking is fanatic. So therefore, this is one sort of mistake. And like I think, as I mentioned earlier, you see many Hindus, ordinary Hindus, I think they really feel, I'm Hindu. I believe, you see, Lord Krishna, Shivaji, like that. But then if you so the question asks, what is Hinduism? I think no answer. I often see, teasing my Indian friend, they sort of, I think every morning, you see, they recite some Sanskrit shloka of some Sanskrit shloka, recite, but without knowing the meaning. Then put some flower in the front of Ganesh or front of some lords. But no idea. What was the real Dharma? I think many Muslims, they simply Allah, 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 but not meaning. Do not know what is the real meaning. One, my Muslim friend, he told me, any person who claims as a Muslim, if sort of if committed bloodshed, actually that is no longer Muslim practitioner. So a genuine Muslim practitioner should extend love and compassion towards entire Allah's creature. Same, the Buddhist of teaching, entire sentient being. And then the meaning of jihad. The deeper sense of meaning of jihad is struggle, your own negativeness within yourself. That's meaning of jihad. So these, I think those Muslim, those people who come from Muslim community doing certain sort of, including terrorism, these are actually not know what's the real teaching of Quran. And then they develop attachment without knowing the meaning. So these problems start. Among Tibetan Buddhists also, some are quite fanatic. One group in Mount God, you see, they actually, you see, against me. They consider my sort of teaching is not pure Buddhist teaching. Because my approach is non-sectarian approach within Tibetan Buddhist tradition. They are very much sectarian, too much attachment, like that. This group, even in murder cases, say, I think seven, 그들이 1997, 3 murders is the case, just beside my residence. So these are Tibetan Buddhist fanatics. See, it happened. So therefore, we should not mix everything. If some some sort of unhealthy things happen, you see, due to name of Hinduism, name of Islam, name of Christian, we must sort of analyze very detailed. Otherwise, I think best thing is entire nearly 6 billion human beings must disappear. Then genuine world peace come. So long human brilliant mind there, some form of problem always there. So I think we must pray to God, ultimate creator. So pray to God. Now please, time come, entire world should disappear. That also silly. I think much better. This marvelous intelligence remain there and cultivate with help of human intelligence infinite altruism. Biological factor, limited love and compassion there. But infinite compassion, love on the basis of, as a seed of biological factors of compassion, affection, take as a seed. Then with help of human intelligence, that can further develop and reach infinite love, infinite compassion. That's the only human being can do. So human life is marvelous, provided proper understanding about the reality, about our own sort of ability, like that.